Alrighty guys, back on this Ford Freestar. It was brought back to me this morning. I was a little worried when I opened the garage door and seen this van back here. I thought, oh no, what'd I do wrong? He wanted me to diagnose something. It's got a bad clunking and stuff in it, and he told me that the transmission had been replaced. So obviously, no offense against the transmission guys, but when they put subframes and everything back together, they always miss bolts. So what I found, holy, was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so what do we got here? This subframe mount, okay, it's a real pain in the ass because there's a nut on the other side, on the other end of this bolt, and it travels up through the frame. There's only like a little hole. You can actually get a socket on the nut at the top to be able to tighten it, and it took probably a good half an hour fighting with that, but I got it. And obviously the guy who originally put it back together didn't want to take that kind of time putting it together. And what else did I find? Let's see. Let me go to the front now. Okay, so we're at the front of the vehicle now, and what I found is this motor mount here, the subframe attaches to, the bolt wasn't even there.
What's down? That's what
So I actually had to run my ass to FACA Fastener and get a new bolt for it. And what else did I find? Let's go back a little further. And this bracket here is totally missing a bolt, but you can't replace it because I can't blame the other mechanic, but maybe the scrapyard. The actual casting is broke, so that can't be replaced, and that might, you know, chafe and make some noise eventually. I could probably do something about that. Just kind of put a nut on top and then a washer on top of the nut and then a big washer to hold it against, and that would prevent any vibration or chafing. So maybe I'll look into doing that for the guy. But other than that, checked all the mounts and everything else. Like, this guy spends a lot of time on the road, you know, goes down to his buddies in the States, and so gotta at least make a highway safe for the guy. Like, and I also warned him that you're in Canada. Those are the jacking points right there, and in Canada jacking points suck because they rust out, and as you can see, if anybody tries to jack it up from there again, it's gonna go right up through the body. So I always tell people, mount your jack on the subframe here, right there. That's where I always jack. That's my jacking point. I always jack up from that point or the actual frame here. I never use body mounts because in Canada all your mounts are going to be gone, whether it's body, frame, anything like rockers. So always jack up from the frame in Canada. But we're checking out, dig in and see if we can find anything else that's loose. Alrighty, cheers guys. Okay guys, while I was at FACA Fastener, I stopped by Prodigy Auto Parts and I got Brandon's part, and that's all that's wrong with Brandon's part. This plastic is actually broken on his, so while the oil's pumped up to trigger the sensor for your oil pressure, or your oil pressure gauge or whatever, it actually broke, so it literally just pumps out of his truck the oil. So that's a 2-minute fix, literally. Pair of channel locks, spin this off, put the other back on, and slap the wire back on. So he's gonna get, I got to him too late today, so he had to ride his bicycle to work. So that's for him. It's $10. Probably could have got it cheaper from Rock Auto, but oh well. The parts here, I can't wait for shipping on some things. Okay, I wanted to get a flashlight because This guy's front brake, the inner pad looks worn well more than the outer pad, so I'm gonna check that out and make sure he's good. Still running around, still gotta mix up some concrete to put for a footing for that deck, but this snow blower, I actually got it apart and got it actually running. It's running really good, but it's a Tecumseh, and if you guys watch one of my really old videos, like from years ago, rebuilding the Tecumseh carburetor, the float needle, I didn't understand it. It kept leaking out of the float or the bowl, and I took it apart again and looked inside where the float needle goes, and it's actually missing the little rubber, which the float needle is stopping the fuel. So I got to get a carb kit for this. I have no idea where he got this thing, but anyway, it was brought to me to fix, and I'm going to fix it. So that's done. And now I've got a Craftsman lawnmower that somebody tried fixing themselves, and now I have a problem because I don't have a carburetor problem. I have an actual problem where the guy had taken it apart himself and the spring is now missing from the governor. It's like a little wing, and as the flywheel turns, it blows on this little wing to adjust the governor on it. So I have to find a spring for this, the right tension and the right distance for it to run proper. Because it's a lawnmower. It shouldn't be a problem getting it going, but now I've got the problem of finding the proper spring for that. But it's getting busy. I got that BMW coming tomorrow, and it just needs shocks and struts and U-joint and everything like that. But I got a pitter-patter on that deck. So cheers, guys, and man, it's already like 6:30. Another long day. Alrighty, have a great one. See you tomorrow. Oh, and as for that speed date video, it will be up, okay? Cheers.